Hey folks, fWhip here, and for the first time in a very long time, we're going to be doing a tutorial today on the starter house I used in Season 3 of my hardcore world. If you missed that one, be sure to check out the main channel, but this thing is absolutely amazing. I love all the different elements that come together here to create a pretty unique starter house for ourselves in these mountains, and I'm so excited to explore the style moving forwards, adding on so many new things. If you're excited, please be sure to leave a like on this video here, and be sure to subscribe here to the second channel if you have not already. I would love to get this thing to 100,000 subs. That'd be absolutely amazing. But anyways, starting out right over here, we're starting off with a 7 wide wall, and then we're going 13 blocks long with putting some stone brick on the corners. The tuff down here is just a little bit of a trim, creating a full rectangular box, then piling this thing up to be 4 blocks tall, going around the entire way. You can see me in here adding in a few spaces where I'm going to throw some windows later on. You can kind of pop these in wherever you want as you're going. I kind of loosely plan the windows while I'm building it, and then for the most part afterwards I bring them back in as I'm decorating or kind of planning out the interior, you know, if we actually do it. But we've got the space for the door there on the front, then we're adding in a spot for the chimney as well as the tower, which is going to be made out of the stone here. So just creating that little 2x2 interior to it, so it's a weird little circle tower that I love, that's just going to be used as the staircase. Then coming over to the side here, adding some spruce stairs onto the end, some trapdoors in the middle, we're able to create a jut out for the upper build. Then bringing in some stripped spruce log, you can pile this up 4 blocks tall on both of those stairs. Then using oak planks here in the middle, we're creating a bay window, using some stairs to kind of turn them in and out around the whole place. Then on the corners, we have our stripped oak logs. Here you want some glass panes and full glass blocks in the middle to round it out, and then doing some stairs on top to finish that window off. From here, you want to bring in a few spruce trapdoors to help bring this in line across the entire thing as a divider in between what we're going to be doing at the top here with some light gray concrete powder. Now, however, working on the roof trim itself, I wanted to go with stairs. Then you step it up 1 block, and then we're just doing stairs straight up to the top to kind of round it out, as I didn't want this to be too steep. From over here, you can see me repeating this whole thing as well, just adding in the stairs and the full block there at the base, and then stairs coming again all the way up here to the top. I did this first before piling up the light gray concrete powder you're going to see here in a second, as I didn't quite know how much I was going to need, and early on it's a hard block to get, so I figured this was the quickest way to get the project done and not have to waste any materials. Then here in the middle, I love these as a window into the attic of sorts, or just a vent. You throw in the oak trapdoor right in there, and then finishing off the light gray concrete powder at the top with a campfire just to add some extra depth. Of course, replicating this over on the far side as well, because it's a starter house, I didn't want to go too crazy, so I just duplicated the design. Now coming out here to the front, I wanted to have a front patio of sorts, so I added in a bunch of stone brick. Then you can see above where I'm putting in the windows, I'm putting some polished andesite to kind of reinforce that thing. From here, we throw in the spruce trap doors and do a little spruce trap door and slab thing above the main doorway to help it pop out a little bit more in here, adding in the windows and of course the door. Then we're coming up to build the deck for the second floor, where we have some stairs with slabs in between. At the end of the stairs, you want to put some more slabs, then in between those, you're doing some trap doors, just so it's not flat. We're throwing some temporary blocks in here to surround those with oak trapdoors to create the railing on this upper level for ourselves, which I think is a really cool way to do it. Then from here, I'm extending some oak planks going all the way around for our second floor, adding those on top of all of the bits of cobblestone and stone brick we still have. Popping out a place for a door right above that window on the first floor. Then we bring in some stripped oak logs here as well, piling this up 2 blocks tall on top of every single one of the oak planks, leaving a few places for some windows. You can kind of throw these in wherever you want as you're going, but as you do the windows, I add in the little bits of the spruce trapdoor action to be a bit of a shutter for ourselves, so it doesn't look so flat. From here, I extended all the way out to the corner with the idea of expanding this later on to add the Enchanting Tower I'll show y'all at the end of the episode. Then here you want to bring in oak planks on top of everything that you're doing, just to create that hidden extra row. From here, you also want to, above the windows, create this little bump in it, so it's not a flat stair going all the way across here. You can point the stairs inwards so they're going towards that, and then do the double slab on top. Just helps to break up that straight boring line that we have. Then from here, a lot of straight boring lines. We're adding in the cobbled deep slate for the roof, which I'm really happy with. I think it turned out really well. Then from here, I wanted to start creating some windows on this upper level for our attic area, we can have some fun windows. So bringing in a lot of different bits of cobbled deep slate stairs and creating 3 different windows, stretching them out 1 block in between them, so we have a little bit of variation and the roof still has a good slope to it and doesn't just break itself off flat across a weird line. But in here you want to go on top of the full blocks, do some stairs pointing inwards. Then at this point you can do some double tall glass panes inside of those things as we just kind of bring the stairs across the entire point. But there the glass panes go in for our windows, and I throw some flower pots in the fronts of them later on just for some extra decoration, but you can do that if you want. I know flower pots are kind of a pain to get early game. Then from here, just extending all of the stairs out, creating those rounded effects to bring the lower stair line that we had the slope of the roof, bringing that all in line. And then at the top, we're going to do a full block of the cobbled deep slate that we have, and moving back to be working on the chimney here on the back edge. I wanted this to be bright and shiny out of brick so it pops. It's something interesting to look at and it breaks up everything else. So stacking some stairs, alternating with full blocks here in the middle, and throwing in a little bit of granite as I wanted to come up here and get the rest of that wall in for the second story. Just since we're here, we might as well. And it's looking really good, bringing the stairs all the way back along the edge as well, since that roof line is going to be the same. But first, piling up the rest of the bricks that we're going to need for the chimney. I top it off right below where I throw in the campfires with some polished granite, since it gives a nice little change of pace as we're going up there. You don't really have to do it. I think it looks really nice though. Then we're throwing the 2 campfires in. Optimally, I would love to use soul fire campfires here so they don't glow quite as much, because the roof randomly glowing is a little bit weird in my opinion, but it'll do for now. Coming back down here to the walls and throwing in all of the stairs and finishing off the second floor walls outside of where we're going to be putting the tower later. You can see at this point here, I'm starting to bring the rest of the roof line in, where I'm actually etching out the shape for where the tower is going to be coming up all the way across the top. So this one doesn't have any windows on the back. I'm just filling in all of the blank spaces. So if it looks a little weird, it's because there's going to be a tower coming out of that spot with all of the stone down below us. But it's looking pretty good so far, so we can just fill this in, as I mentioned, across the whole side. With that entire place filled in, all of the stairs across the board here, now it's looking really cool, and we need to get some torches on the inside. As I'm in hardcore, that's something very important, because we might die. We don't really want to be dying on this one. But now that this thing is brought all the way over here, we can start working on the tower. But first, mob proofing. We don't want to die. Some buttons across the top is going to be great. And then I decided to go one above the buttons, is bringing in the height of the tower. Then from here, we're doing some full blocks going on top of where all of the stone pillars will be coming up, and then bringing it out to an extra corner to create a 4x4 box. And then in the middle of those, to extend it out even further, I'm adding some upside down stairs. And then underneath the corner ones, we're bringing down 2 fences, spruce fences, or you could use dark oak if you wanted. I just don't have it yet. But now we can bring up all of that stone up to the tippity top. It just needs to come up here real quick so that we have everything in hand. From this point, I want to bring in some stripped oak to kind of keep that same consistent color that we have in the house. So bring that all the way around, and I want to do something interesting with the windows here. So extending 2 glass panes out on each side, double tall, so we have some big windows, and cornering them off there with some oak trap doors. And then here in the middle, we are starting out the roof itself. So that was duplicated on all 4 sides. The same with this section right here. This build just kind of comes up to one central point for ourselves, and it gets a little wonky, but I think it works out pretty well. Using the stairs here to help define a slope for ourselves, I really like how this one is looking, and it's a good start for the tower. From this point though, we've got everything in line ready to go, and here I wanted to extend some stairs on top, and then we're going to do some full spruce blocks in the corner with some more stairs on top of those eventually, but after we get everything else in here, kind of as we're working our way around. There's a lot of stairs on this because I want the whole thing to be mob proof and safe for us to move around on. At this point, you can see I'm starting to bring in some full spruce planks here as well, as we're going to need to etch these up and increase it up a bit more. And this is where that weirdness factor comes in that I was kind of talking about. I don't like roofs that end at a weird 2x2 point. And so at this point, I decided instead to make it a little bit interesting and have it growing up the back, almost like a wizard hat of sorts or something along those ways, a little bit more fantasy based. And it wouldn't be realistic since we can't really do a one single point on side of Minecraft on a 2x2. It just doesn't really happen, and I don't like those double stair ones. So piling up some stairs and just slowly etching them up to one central point, we have the granite, and then we have the 2 blocks. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get the wizard tower recorded in first person mode, but you can see it stacking up here as a 3x3 base and just slowly expanding it with a little bit of spruce and then bringing some oak on top of it and just a grand roof out of the deep slate, poking it all up to the very top using some deep slate walls on the corners there, and then the archway in the middle is very basic, just at a diagonal, so it's pretty easy to copy. Actually, in game now, I want to show y'all what this looks like. You can see the tower right over here looking absolutely fantastic. Here is what the archway looks like to give you a much more up close and personal view. You bring the spruce trapdoors out after you've got the andesite piled up, birch on top of that, full glass, and then some spruce slabs going all the way up to the tippity top. Trying to make sure there's no creepers around because that'd be quite sad. Over here we have the Enchanting Tower, just a better glimpse at it from this angle. That's a lot I feel like that you could copy from if you want to pause here and go on that. As I can say on the windows here, upside down a stone brick stair, 2 glass panes, polished andesite on the top, and then you do these guys. For this little drop down bit, we got the granite walls into the spruce slab there again, and then just adding some extra trapdoors sticking out the sides just to give that extra little bit of a pop. The front balcony right here I didn't really talk about, but it's a little just stone brick piled up with some stairs. It's pretty easy. Here's a glimpse at the kitchen in its final form right now. Lots of barrels for storage in the upper levels. Probably not the fanciest looking thing, but it's gonna be serving its purpose here very soon once the chest room right back over here overflows. I want to throw 2 more single chests right up there, which will be nice to finish that one off, but we can't put any underneath this full beam since it's a full block. I know this tower isn't the best thing in the world, but we've got 3 barrels down here at the base. It goes all the way up to the tippity top, so we can really view out everywhere, and it's actually really cool to see everything up here. But most importantly, it leads up to our second floor, where we have the bedroom situated right over here. And then on this side, we just have a general little sitting room. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. It's got access up to the attic, being a 3rd floor that, again, I don't know what to do with it up here, but you got a lot of extra space. If you don't want to build the Enchanting Tower, you could probably throw it in the attic if you would like. But here's the walkway leading all the way across. You can see all of the spruce slabs being piled up here in the middle. Then that comes into the Enchanting Tower, which if you got this thing set up, I just put a floor there with a torch underneath it to keep the bottom safe. And then we've got the enchanting setup here at the tippity top. It's looking pretty cool. I would love to be able to get some lanterns hanging down instead of using torches to light it up, but we're in the early game here and iron is hard to come by. Now, if you found this useful and you want to see more stuff like this throughout the rest of the series, please be sure to leave a like down below and let me know in the comments. That would be absolutely awesome. If you have not already, please be sure to subscribe here to fWhip too. I very much appreciate all of the support in getting this channel to 100,000 subs. We're halfway there. We can do it, I swear. But with that, my friends, I will catch you on the fWhip side.